Mind if I drink some water real quick before we jump into that?
No, you can't. You're not allowed to hydrate.
I actually have vodka in it.
That explains a lot.
We get asked a lot of questions about how to create certain story beats or how to do certain types of mechanics, but let's talk about the most basic thing of all. Let's talk about third-person view in a game versus first-person view, and which you should choose for your game, or should you have a hybrid where you can switch between the two? Because I think, personally, the choice between whether it's primarily third, first, or a hybrid is actually an important choice.
It's all about how you present your story, and the perspective matters.
It does
a whole lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. So everyone should know what it is. A first person is when you're seeing through the eyes of your character, like an FPS. Third person is when you're seeing your character, whether it be from top down, to the side, over the shoulder. That's not as important as it being third person in general for the purposes of this conversation.
Right. So
what does each offer? Would you like to start out with what each one offers?
Yeah, so we're talking about the benefits. First person perspective, total immersion.
Okay.
It offers immersion. Whether you're on flat screen or VR, you are totally immersed in the game. What you see on the screen is you looking around at the world.
Yes.
You interacting with the world. Yeah. You're there. You're doing things.
100%. 100%.
Conversely, the benefit of third person is you get to see the area around your character and are able to navigate the world a lot more smoothly.
Yes.
And that includes enemy encounters.
Yes.
Hostile situations. You're able to see them before they happen and either move away from them or run into them with weapons drawn.
Absolutely. I think Teal nailed it from an immersion and mechanical standpoint. If your game is first person, your player is going to be much more immersed, considerably more. However, the drawback to that is they are limited by their own physical perceptions. And in the case of VR, the FOV of their glasses, their goggles. You limit the player, and they may impact their ability to play the game. The benefit of third person is, like Teal said, you get more of a view of the world, more of a view of what's happening around them, but you do sacrifice that basic immersion that first person gives you so easily.
Yeah.
So how do you choose which one? How do you choose first person or third person? And when do you say, heck, I'm going to do it like the Elder Scrolls, where I'm normally in first person, but I can scroll back to third?
Well, it all depends on the type of game that you're presenting.
I agree.
What kind of experience do you want to give the player, and what type of experience is typical for that genre?
UX is king. Remember that. If you learn nothing else from these forums and from talking to us, UX, user experience, is king. What best gives the best UX for your players for that game? Horror can be both, but I find horror to be so much more effective when it's first person, especially in VR.
Yeah.
But
VR horror.
But horror in third person is often necessary. Look at the Silent Hill series 1, 2, and 3. You need to be in third person for those sequences. Otherwise, you're going to have a very bad time. Pyramid Head would be very difficult to deal with in first person because you'd be seeing things only through James Sutherland's perspective. You may not see the area that you can run by to get to, or the chain you can pull to raise the drawbridge to stop Pyramid Head from attacking you. In that instance, Silent Hill 2 was better served in second person. I mean, I'd love to see second person, in third person.
Yeah. So we hope we were able to answer the question.
Yeah. Analyze the mood of your game. Don't worry about the genre. You can have a first-person JRPG, right, Teal?
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You can have a first-person JRPG. You can have a first-person JRPG. I can't think of anything else other than JRPG.
You can have a third-person shooter.
You can have a third-person shooter. You can have a third-person VR game. They do exist, and they're a lot of fun. Check out Lucky's Tale or Moss. But it's not the genre. It's the mood you're trying to establish with your players. What do you want the players to feel, and what do you want them to see? Now, for the hybrid is literally separates, like Elder Scrolls, separates the Elder Scrolls players into two camps.
Yeah.
First-person Elder Scrolls players want that immersive worldness, especially in VR. In fact, you can only play Elder Scrolls VR in first person. While the Elder Scrolls third-person players, they want to have all those nice things that they have, the costumes, and they want to have all the nice animations and Dark Souls style combat systems, and they want to look at their female character's ass, because you know that's what they do. But the player is given the choice, and you might want to consider that if your game supports that. You'll have to design all of your stuff on a mechanical level to handle both first and third person, and that might be difficult.
Yeah. But if your game it would look good in both first and third person, then yeah, consider having a hybrid model.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good question, KV, and food for thought for you all. What are you going to make your game, and why? Are you going to make it a first-person game or a third-person game? And again, why? Let us know in the comments below. All right. And Valborn mentioned Cyberpunk in third person. I kind of wish too at some point Cyberpunk would have been third person. It would definitely help me find ambushes and help me fighting against those mobs of enemies a lot better.
That's true. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you like what you saw, lay the smack down the like button below, subscribe to our channel, consider supporting us on Patreon, connect with us over social media, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you next time.